what is my first encounter or like my first memory of pain? And then I worked my way back and I was like, okay. My first memory of pain dealt with mistrust. And I was like, mistrust. I was like, okay, so long story short, being trusting my godfather to my parents trusted me to my godfather. Okay, they trusted him. And moving on from there, when he touched me, it was a break in the norm for me. Because first daddy said nobody's supposed to touch you. So I'm like, okay, that triggers. Nobody's supposed to touch me. He's touching me. Hold on, something's not right. And when I recognized that something wasn't right, that was a break in my trust. So I wrote out a definitions for what pain was. And pain is a catalyst for change. And I was like, a catalyst for change. Meaning that pain ignites us changing. But there's two different ways it can go. The first way that pain can take us is, first way, it can change you for good or it can change you for bad. So for good meaning it's going to teach you a lesson if you sit with it, if you trying to open your mind to what is going on. Something in my life has come that's not normal. The break in the trust is what was not normal. Daddy said no one is supposed to touch me. Okay, so that was a trigger. And two, it's like, wait a minute, this is not normal. I don't normally feel this way. So moving on, the pain is a catalyst for change, but you still have a decision to make in this, meaning that there's two different ways it can go, good or bad. The good is the lessons that you learn from what happened. So you can honor the emotion, which requires that you sit with that emotion. I was furious. I was angry. I was upset. So if I would have sat with that emotion, I would have learned that this is for good and not for bad. But when this pain came, two things could have happened, the good or the bad. The good is it would have helped me to understand, to trust in life. It would have gave me more strength. It would have gave me more hope, joy, peace, a new perspective, and more love, and possibly resilience, meaning that something else in my life can happen. But when pain comes, it's coming to teach you something. So the bad part of this is when you say it's teaching me something and you understand that if you understand it as a child, I did not understand this. So when pain came, the break in my trust, the bad part of this is if I would have took that, and I did, and I held that on, the bad part of that, it created confrontation, bitterness, distrust, anger, rage, disloyalty. That is the bad. But once we sit with our pain and we realize that pain is a catalyst for change, it can change me for good or it can change me for bad. You have to sit with it. And what I mean by sit with it is, what did this pain come to teach me? For me, pain was being touched by someone that is not supposed to touch me as a 9-year-old. But your pain may have been falling off of your bike. Your pain may have been parents yelling at you. Pain for everyone is different, but pain comes to everyone to teach something. Pain comes to everyone to teach something, to teach you something, but it depends on how you're processing it. It depends on how you're sitting with it. For me, I didn't sit with it. Because I didn't understand as a child. I sat with it years later. But still, I'm 30 years old. It probably wasn't until I was 28 that I recognized this pain came to change me, but it can change me for good or it can change me for bad. And now that I've sat with it and asked it, basically, hey, what did you come to teach me? The good part is that it came to teach me a lesson. I honored the emotion of being, what if they haven't learned? What does that look like? What if they haven't learned that the pain came to teach you something? I'm not sure exactly what you're saying, but if you haven't learned that pain came to teach you something, you can't say it after today. Pain comes to teach you something. If you haven't learned that, it's right now you're probably still bitter. You're probably frustrated. You're probably confused. You are probably this is just from my life. When I didn't know that pain came to teach me something, I felt confused. I felt like I wasn't me. I felt something in me just told me, hey, something is not right here. I'm not sure exactly what this is, but something in me just knew this is not Sierra. This is not Sierra. So initially, as a 9-year-old, I didn't know that pain was to teach me anything. It wasn't until I went to mom and dad that they said, hey, this is not right. This is not right. Got to be open-minded to use that pain as redirection. Yes, you have, the thing about it is, the bigger scope of things is that for everyone, even if, let me break it down like this. Even if I was driving my bike, let's say I was learning to ride my bike. I'm learning to ride my bike and I fall. I was trusting in that bike to do what it's supposed to do, keep me up, my training wheels to keep me up. Now I need to keep riding this bike. You know, dad and mom tell me, hey, you know, parents play a part in this as well. Because for one person, it could be mom and dad didn't say anything about, you know, hey, it's like, okay, get up, boy, let's go. Let's ride this bike again. You got this. But if you don't have mom and dad there, you don't have mom and dad there, or mom and dad is like, oh my God, it's okay. You know, oh my goodness, look at this. And they get you and they console you. That's one thing. But if mom and dad laugh, if mom and dad make fun, that can translate into something else. But yes, you have to keep going in the pain, but eventually you're going to get to a place in your life that you're like, what is this about? Like, why am I still frustrated? Why am I still angry? But if you trace it back and you think in your mind and you just ask the question, what is my first exposure to pain? Whatever that is, and you haven't honored that situation and you haven't got to a place of what did this come to teach me, that is still showing up in your life. It's nothing you can do to cover it. It's nothing you can do to pacify it. It's nothing you can do to what we call it, sweep it under the rug. It is showing up in your life because you haven't honored the fact that something hurt you. And I'm not just saying this to y'all. I've lived this. When this happened to me as a child, I did not process it as pain is a catalyst for change. I just knew something in my life wasn't the same anymore. And I need to figure this out. So as a child growing up, I viewed life through those same eyes until I got to a place to like, oh my God, this is still affecting me. What is this about? And I sat with it, meaning that I felt all of that. For years, I felt all of it. What does it feel like for this, this pain to sit with me? And going on and pushing on through life, I'm like, this is still sitting with me. This is still in me. I was bitter. I was confrontational. I was like frustrated, confused, and angry. But because I had not dealt with the pain, meaning like sat with it and honored it, it continued to show up in my life. Pain comes to teach. Pain is not, we look at pain as something that is negative, but it's not negative. It just came to teach. Pain, and I mean, to be honest, it feels for myself, it feels as if the pain is, let me be careful. It feels as if the pain came to overtake me. I'm just going to use myself for an example. But as you push through life, like I said, you have a decision to make. It felt like I didn't have a decision. It felt like I couldn't choose how this affected me until I got the space and the mind capacity to realize that, Sierra, this is still showing up in your life. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to let this person who caused you pain still control your life? Or are you going to do something about it? That's where the decision has to be made. Meaning like, do I show up and I say, okay, I'm going to continue to show up as this bitter woman, this frustrated woman, this confused woman, this woman full of rage, or can I do something about this? The man is, first there's layers to it. I needed to forgive him. Okay, I understand that part. I needed to, I wouldn't say I firstly understood that. When I came to the understanding, I needed to forgive him. That's one layer. But there's still more. I needed to forgive him, my parents, myself. Forgive the situation and realize that this has come to try to change me. Is it going to change me for good or is it going to change me for bad? I still now have compassion for people. I still now can have more joy and more peace after I've sat with the situation. Not before, because I did not know that the pain came to teach. I did not know that the pain was going to change me for good. Not like first of all, when pain comes, whatever it is, you didn't already have inside of you. You had it there, but that pain pushed, almost like a pimple. That pain pushes it out. That pain, if you sit with it and you do the work, the pain will push out. It's already shown you. It's already shown you that you can overcome it because you didn't take yourself out of here, or it didn't take you out. So it's already showing you some things about yourself, but there's other things about yourself that's on the other side of it. Resiliency, like anything else, that's because I've, sat with that pain and tried to understand it. Now I can show up and I can be there for other people. Now I have more joy to give people. Now I can be peaceful in myself. Now I can tell that story and not be so cringy about it and not look at it as a means of this is horrible. No, that pain came and it taught me something. It taught me that Sierra is resilient. Sierra is bold. Sierra is courageous. But although it came into my life, it does not mean that it's coming to destroy you. It is coming to teach you more things about yourself. Like you, and the thing is, as women, I'm really wanted to share all of this because as women, we can, I just say as women, as people in general, we can sit and, like, for me, like if I was in college and I bombed a test, guess what? That came to teach me something. I need to study. I need to change my major. I may need to, go talk to my counselor, get some tutors. It didn't come to destroy me. It came to teach me something. Like even in the simpler thing, even if I go and eat something and it tear my stomach up, that's teaching me something about my body. I need to eat something different. My body doesn't want this, or I'm allergic to something. It comes to teach. Every time we endure some type of pain, it is coming to teach us something. Now, whether we find out what it is teaching us or not is really up to us. It may not feel like, it's a tug of war. It may not feel like it's teaching you anything. You may not, because you're still in the place of learning that, man, this hurts. Because like with certain emotions like grief, we need to feel all of those. Even though we look at it as a negative emotion, you need to feel that. You want to, feel like what it feels to lose someone. And then it's like, okay, I felt this. Now I don't want to let this go. But in order to have my joy, in order to have my peace, in order to have my peace of mind, I'm going to say that I'm going to honor this emotion so I can move on in life. I can move on. Yes, I love my loved one. Yes, I miss them. Yes, they're gone and they're never returning. But I've sat with it and I've honored that. Oh my God, I'm going to miss him so much. Oh my God, I'm going to miss her so much. But sitting with it, okay, this has taught me that I can make it. I can continue life and that it's okay. It's okay. Now I can give it away. Not necessarily give it away. I can let it go. Not saying that I don't miss the person. Not saying that it doesn't hurt anymore. But I can let it go now because I have sat with the emotion and I have honored it. I have honored it. So it works. I've sat down with this thing this morning and I was like, this is something that needs to be heard, from the sense that pain is a catalyst for change. Now, will it change you for good or will it change you for bad? It's really your decision. It's really your decision. Somebody just popped on. I don't know who that was, but hey. Oh, you lost connection. It's okay. If you need me to repeat something, or if you have a question, you can ask me a question. If you want me to expound on something, if you want me to repeat something, I really appreciate y'all for watching. Today I was reading that book and it really helped me to see, like, pain came to teach. Is not a bad thing. Like, pain is actually, I consider it now with this understanding, it's a good thing. Like, we all need pain in order to change. What else will change us? And I mean, yes, there's other times when you're motivated to do something, but usually pain teaches the best lessons. That what other way would we have learned them? Yes, I'll make a decision to, go apply to the house after I get my credit fixed, after I, know I'm going to get approved for this loan, all of those things. But sometimes there's an interruption in our normal because we need to learn something. We need to learn that, hey, I am bigger than this. I am stronger than this. I'm courageous. I am resilient. This did not come to take me out. I can still continue on life. And the beautiful thing about pain is that once I've dealt with pain and sat with it, I can share it with you. And when you tell me about your pain, I can say, hey, look, this is what this is what I've been through. And guess what? If I've been through this, you can make it through that. Yes, there's different types of pain: physical, mental, emotional, sexual, all of the different things, psychological, spiritual. There's all different types of pain, but all of those things have, just like, I'm going to use this as an example, all of those things in common are still under the big scope of pain. Just like transportation is the big thing. Then you have a car, you have a truck, you have airplanes, you have jets. They all do the same thing. They get you from place A to place B. So if we look at pain in that same light, it's like pain is here, and then there's different types of pain. And just by me telling you about my pain, you can look at yours and say, oh my goodness, she made it through that. What did you do? There's some commonalities there of how you've gotten over the hump. You may have had to cut a hole. You may have had to burn a bridge. You may have had to build a bridge. You may, there's different ways that you got through your situation. But me sharing what I've done to get through mine can help you get through yours as well. So it's like, if we tell each other what we've been through and we share our pain with one another, everybody can start to overcome. And I believe that with all of my being, if we share our pain with other people, everybody can start to overcome. And then the thing is, if we just look at pain as one of those things that's a teacher, and we look at it as pain as one of those things as a catalyst, we can get so much further in this world, period. Because you have the Caucasians and you have the whites. Two different types of pain, but they're still both in pain. They're still both in pain. If you have different president things and stuff like that. One wants to do this, one wants to do that. Both are going to cause two different types of pain, but it's still a type of pain. But if we can get together and share the pain with one another, as far as like what is going on with you, because if you think about it, in society, everybody's enduring some type of pain daily. The happiest person has a strain somewhere in their life. And I know this just because I've been in therapy, but all of us are dealing with it on a daily basis. Some of us are looking at it as a lesson that is trying to teach us, and some of it is looking at it in a way that's negative, meaning like you're looking at pain like, why did you come? Like what you doing? Almost like an uninvited person that's at your birthday party. Like, who invited you? Like, where you come? I didn't send you an invitation. Pain does not ask. Some of it we call ourselves, but more than likely we don't ask for it. We don't say, hey, I want pain to teach me this. It doesn't come that way. It's an interruption in your day-to-day lifestyle. But at the end of the day, pain comes to teach. And if you close your eyes and you just ask yourself, what is my first experience or encounter or memory of pain? And you see what that is. And if you haven't dealt with that one, more than likely, it is still showing, and more than likely, it is. If you haven't sat with that, and if you haven't honored that, if you haven't, tried to figure out what it came to teach you, it's going to keep showing up until you get the lesson. I kept enduring bad relationships. And this is something that's going to be in my book. I kept enduring bad relationships because I didn't love myself. And until I learned to love myself, that's when I met my husband. Until I learned the lesson of how to love Sierra, I kept attracting people who were no good. And guess what? The truth of the matter is I was no good because I didn't love myself. So it's like the pain that we're enduring day to day has to be dealt with. And like I said, on a smaller scale, if it's something that's easier to understand, if we're eating something and it's causing us pain, if you got diarrhea, if you vomiting, you're not going to keep eating that. I would hope that you wouldn't. But until you figure out, hey, maybe I don't need to drink milk because every time I drink milk, it gives me diarrhea. So guess what? I might need to give me some almond milk, some soy milk, some silk milk. I got to change something because if I don't, guess what? Every time I drink milk, until I learned the lesson that I'm lactose intolerant, guess what? This is going to happen. But yeah, that's it. That is it. I will show y'all my little thing, but it's going to be backwards. But I can read it. So, and I may post it, but pain comes to change us is what this says. And then there's a decision to be made, and it's our decision. And from that decision, it's going to be, you make a decision, and this decision means you're going to honor the emotion to learn the lesson, or you're going to deny the hurt, you're going to cover it up, or you're going to dismiss it. If you're trying to learn the lesson and honor the emotion, that's going to be the change for good, because you'll learn to trust in life. You'll gain some strength, hope, joy. Your joy will be restored, a new perspective, and more love. And then for change, if you decide, hey, I'm going to cover this up, I'm going to deny it, and I'm going to dismiss this pain, that's going to change you for the worse or the bad. You become bitter. You'll probably be confrontational. You lack trust. You become disloyal. You become angry, and you're probably filled with rage. So the bigger part of the picture is pain is a catalyst for change. Whether it's a good change or a bad change, it's really up to us. That is it. I just want to share this stuff so that all of us can learn that pain isn't bad. Pain is a teacher. It is a teacher. It's simply a teacher. It is a neutral factor. It is neutral. It's not, what's the name? But yeah. The question you want to ask yourself is, what is my first memory of pain? And just sit and think about what that is and how that's changed you. Like I said, the example of, if your first memory of pain is a stomach ache, how has that changed you? If your first memory of pain is falling off your bike, how has that changed you? Every area that you can think of that you have a memory of pain, look at it and see how it has changed you. That's what I basically did with what I was showing you. It's like I sat down and I wrote the question, what is my first memory of pain? And looked at it and see how has it changed me. Have I sat with it and honored this emotion